Hi everybody, it's Christy from Funky Junk Inspiration, and today we are journaling over here on YouTube. You guys, I want to thank Tasha from Sunflower Tasha for putting this journaling playlist together. Make sure you check everybody out. The link is in my description and all that kind of fun stuff. And if you see somebody you like, make sure you give them a subscribe to their channel, hit that little bell, all that kind of fun stuff. We are going to make a journal with the McDonaldland adult Happy Meal stuff. I have been collecting these. I have got multiples of a couple of them. There's 3 of them I have, 3 of them I don't have. Can't wait to get all of them. I'm just really excited. So anyway, I'm going to take this box and we're going to make us a little junk journal, and we're just going to use some fun things in there. Now, my little clip keeps falling off of my stinking paper cutter, but just sticking that back on there. So I'm just going to cut the tops and the bottoms off of here. Now you want to be real careful and not cut too much off because, you know, these are kind of small. Now I'm not going to use this how you might think, that I leave the one piece as the spine for our journal. We're going to use that prime packaging actually for our base for our journal. I need a new blade on my paper cutter, you guys. I'm having all kinds of issues here. But anyway, so I'm cutting the front and the back off, and then we're going to put it on the Prime Video envelope. I love to use up things that I have. You know, when I make journals and stuff that, you know, have the nice hard covers and stuff on them, instead of going buying cardstock, I will just use cereal boxes, things like that. So I'm just kind of sizing up here. Obviously that's going to have to be cut, and I decided to go down the center with some duct tape, and the reason I did that was just to reinforce the center a little bit, because I'm going to put a lot of pages in here. I'm only going to do 1 signature. Now when I get completely done, I probably should have done 2 signatures and made the book a little bit bigger, but you know what? It's going to be fun like it is. So anyway, so here I go. I'm having to fight with my duct tape. I should have trimmed my envelope down before I did this, but of course I didn't. But I just put 1 piece in there. So now when I lay those in there like that, here I go, trimming the top and the bottom off so that they're the right size. I'm making the journal top and bottom to the exact size of the McDonaldland toy box, because I could made it a little bit bigger, but that's just what I decided to do. You do you when you do things like this. So anyway, so we're just trimming that off, and again, I need to get on Amazon right now and get some blades ordered. I have some somewhere. I don't know what I did with them. So anyway, they're with the missing eyelets. If you follow me, you know what I'm talking about. I have a whole thing of eyelets somewhere in the world, and I can't find them anywhere. I finally ordered some new ones thinking that the old ones would pop up, but they did not. Anyway, so I'm going to put this on the top and the bottom. You know, there's our back cover and our top cover right there. And then when I fold that, it kind of bends up a little bit. I know that if I leave it sit and let it dry real good, that would hold itself down. I was trying to decide something else that I could put on the binding. And here's what I decided. I decided that I was just going to take a piece of the duct tape, and I'm going to tear it right down the middle. Does it tear straight? Absolutely not. It does not tear straight, but you know, nothing's straight in our life, right? So I'm just going to barely put that over the cardboard there, just to help hold that down. Plus, it's going to be a little more reinforcement for my spline right there. Now, when we go to sew this, it is kind of difficult to sew because we're going through multiple layers of duct tape right there, and a plastic container, you know, a plastic mailing envelope and stuff like that. But we live. Okay, so there we go. There we have our cover. And I kind of want to round the corners, of course, you know, because, I don't know, I think that just kind of makes stuff look a little bit whimsical, a little bit fun. I don't know, I like the rounded corners. Okay, so I'm just kind of holding it there. I'm going to sit it and put the tape on it and just kind of let it get creased real good. Now, here we go with getting all of our stuff together. I definitely have lots of the tissue paper, says McDonaldland. I pulled out some of those papers, trying to decide what kind of papers that I wanted to use for this. And here is the junk that I have also. I have the Quarter Pounder box, I have the McNugget box, I have a French fry box, I have a Happy Meal box that we may want to add in later, and of course the bag that it all comes in. So trying to decide exactly what I want to use here. These are a little bit short. I end up not using that dark blue piece. I use only that yellow piece out of there. But then I decide I'm going to pull out. I definitely use that piece. I'm going to take that piece right there and I'm going to get our sizing. Okay, so I'm just kind of drawing some little arrows or some little lines. Nothing exact, just doing what I've, eyeballing it. And I end up cutting more off than what I say on there. But anyway, it's okay. We just go with the flow. And so here I am just, having to do this 16 times. But anyway, I get this all cut and folded in half to see if it's in there. It's a little big, cut some more off. And then I get our numbers. Next thing I'm going to do after I do this, I'm going to grab a paper pad that I have that have the bright primary type colors, not necessarily the primary colors, but I have some paper, a paper pad. This is the paper pad here. Not really primary colors, but I kind of liked some of the colors that were in there. And I went with solids, some of the polka dots, some of the gingham, some of the big polka dots. I just kind of flipped through and seen what I decided that I would like. And then I'm going to actually cut those, I think, first. And no, I'm not. I'm going to look for the cardstock. Now, this is thick cardstock. So I pulled just a couple pieces out. I definitely pull out that purple because I cannot wait till I finally get the grimace. I'm hoping that I get the grimace one very soon. I end up putting the purple cardstock in the center of my book because I want to do grimace in the middle. I don't know. That's just kind of what I'm feeling right now. And the stickers will probably be all purple and they'll just blend with that. So I might totally change what I do when I actually get it. So anyway, so here we're just cutting these to size. I just cut them together because it doesn't matter if it's just a little bit, raggedy or anything like that, because this is a junk journal, right? Don't make it harder, make it funner, right? Okay, so now I'm just going to fold my pages here, and I'm kind of talking through, if I had the audio from here, talking about how, I'm folding them in half. We can glue some pages together because I'm going to have some pages that have some white on the background. I can glue some pages together or I don't have to. And it's up to me, whatever I decide to do. I'm trying to decide what I want to put on the inside cover, and I can't decide. I think what I end up deciding to do is to use the bag for the inside cover. So here I am just kind of putting together how I want the pieces to go. I may fold it one way, but then it's going to actually be another way. I just don't want to have some, going through here and end up having like something weird. All those colors go together, but if you were doing something that had print or things on it, you wouldn't want something weird to show up there. But there you can see I put the purple cardstock right in the middle, and I used a piece of cardstock on the outside also to kind of reinforce it there. Okay, so here I am trying to decide what to do with some tissue paper. So I decided to make a page to put in our book with the tissue paper. Now I'm going to take my ruler here in a second and I'm going to rip it, and I kind of rip it a little bit crazy, but I leave it. It's okay. It doesn't matter whatsoever that it's a little bit weird. You'll see me here. I'll put it in there. Then I do this, and then I rip a whole big chunk off. That's okay. It ends up looking all right in there. But it is double folded over, so just remember that, if you're going to do something with it. So anyway, then I definitely want to use a couple pieces of this paper, and here's why. This paper makes me think of when I was a kid. We had to... Sorry about that, guys. I don't know if you heard that, but my dog wanted in the house, like right now, and she jumped up on a storm door, made a terrible screeching noise. Anyway, now she's going to get some toys. Anyway, back to what I was saying. That paper reminds me of elementary school. It reminds me of when I was little. It reminds me of, going to McDonald's and things like that. Now, when I was a kid, I don't remember them having like McDonaldland parties and stuff like that. But when my children were little, that was a big thing. Birthday parties being at McDonald's. Everybody got a Happy Meal. There was a cake, all kinds of fun stuff. Plus, you got to play in the play set, the play area or whatever. It was just such a big deal. And but anyway, that paper reminds me of it, so I stuck it in there. Now, I could have edited out that whole spot with my dog, but I didn't. Anyway, so I'm going to take the bag here, and I'm just kind of sizing up exactly how I want to do the bag. And I cut some pieces off. I make it a little smaller and all that kind of fun stuff. I started ripping here because I found it was just a little bit easier than messing with my paper cutter. Okay, so here's where I figure out what I want to put on the front. And I decided I wanted to put, Mayor McCheese in the front cover there. And so here we go. We're just gonna start gluing that down there. I slide it over a little bit so you can see all of McDonaldland when I end up being done and all that kind of stuff. So I'm just putting my glue on here. Now I like to use glue sticks. That's just me, especially when I'm live, because it dries fairly quickly. It's not such a wet glue that you kind of have to wait or whatever. And most of the time when I'm doing my videos and stuff too, I don't want to wait either. Now, if I had plenty of time and I'm doing something that, maybe I want to sell a journal or something like that, I might use, art glitter glue or Fabri-Tac or something like that. But the glue sticks work just fine for me. I have yet to have anything come unglued, but most of the stuff that I make is for myself. So if I opened it up and something was unglued, I would just glue it right back down. Not a big deal. Okay, so we cut that all off, and I just used an X-Acto knife. My table has a glass cover on it, so I'm not tearing up my table or anything. Okay, so here we are putting our papers in. Now I'm going to grab some of these big paper clips, and I'm going to clip this just to kind of hold it in place, and we're going to start with our stitching for our binding right here. So the first thing I'm going to do is I want to really make sure it's in there good. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to get my awl and I'm going to poke some holes. Here's where I'm getting my string out, and there's my awl, and there's my little thing of needles. I just eyeball the center. I don't make a big deal about it. You can make a little template so that your holes are exactly the same distance and stuff. It's approximately 1 inch from the top and in the center, so it'll work. They say to get about 5 times the thickness of your book for your string. I always end up with way more than that, but I'm always scared not to at least do that, because I figure the first time that I do 3 lengths of my book, it won't be enough. So anyway, I go in from the center right there, and wherever I go in from the tail, okay, ladies, I cut that out right there, but my camera fell twice on me. So anyway, whatever direction that you go in, that is where your strings are going to be. I usually do mine, I don't always, but most of the time I do mine to the back, or the outside I should say, because in case I want to put beads or something on it or something like that. But anyway, you go from the center, you go up to the top, then you go all the way down to the bottom, then you go back through the center again. Make sure when you tie your knot, you have a string on each side. If you want more detail on how to sew pages in a journal, please let me know. I have lots of videos that I do it on that I go a little bit slower. But you can also, a lot of people do stuff like that. Okay, so here's where I get started with putting my stuff in right here. And I'm just picking and choosing. I'm not making a big deal about where everything's going, and I'm just going to start decorating some pages. I love the little postcards. I think they're so cute. But I just kind of put them in here so that you can just kind of flap them open right here. And then I'm looking at my bag and I'm thinking, okay, well, I'm doing the French fries, and right there's a couple of our French fry friends. So let's cut them off of this bag that I had, and let's put them on this page right here. So here we go. We put the little French fry guys on there. I'm going to grab a old magazine, or this is an old insurance book from like 5 or 6 years ago. So anyway, we're going to put that on there. So now I'm just kind of eyeballing, seeing where to put things and stuff like that. Changed my mind about 16 times, but I end up figuring out where I want to put everything. I started to get my inker out, and I was going to ink everything up, and then I decided, you know what? I don't want to. I want this to be, I want the white instead of going with the darker color like I normally do when I kind of antique stuff up, especially in my journals and things like that. So here I am just putting the French fry stickers down, not making a big deal. And then I'm trying to decide what to do with the passport. So I decided I'm going to put the passport in the front cover. And I'm just going to kind of put most of the passports together and stuff there. I think that'll be really, really cute. And this right here is a little card that has the code on it that you can go to McDonaldland on the internet and do something fun. And here is this postcard here says, welcome to McDonaldland. And it is the postcard that is in every single one of them. So I'm going to end up with 3 of them here. Out of all my duplicates, I'm going to end up with more. But anyway, so I end up putting all 3 of them in this book. Why not? I'm not hurting anything. Okay, so I won't go back to that. Now let's open Mayor, what is his name? Mayor McCheese. And let's find him a spot. Let's decide where he wants to go. So I'm going to put his passport there. Now I thought I could get 3 to a page, but I end up not being able to, but that's okay. Now I'm going to put this little code thing. I'm just going to put it a different direction and let it flop down, a different direction. And I apologize that I'm a little bit out of screen here. I don't know what I did, but anyway, I digress. Here we go. So now here, I think I'm going to take the quarter pounder box because it has a Mayor McCheese on the inside, and I'm going to cut him out and use him there. And I'm going to cover that, the price of that paper up with that sticker. Well, then I decided that that's a little bit plain. So, hey, you know what? Let's put some tissue paper because we have lots of this McDonaldland tissue paper. So let's put that on this page. I'm not trying to do it to cover up the price tag because it's tissue paper and it's not going to cover that up. I know that. Now I'm not going to get my scissors out. I'm just going to rip it. And I think that looks okay, just like that. All right, so now we're going to put this piece from my quarter pounder box right there with Mayor McCheese on there. And there is the little sticker up there. We're going to put the other stickers on the other page. And I think this is going to turn out really cute. I like how it looks. So anyway, and there is that postcard from Mayor McCheese. You could take those postcards and send them to somebody if you wanted to. That would be fun. Okay, so now let's go to McBirdie. Okay, she is our flying friend. Okay, so I'm just going to put her on the other page because it didn't fit that way. And I'm actually going to make hers show the code on that side. Just, hey, because we can. Now let's find a spot to put this. Right here's where I'm going to put her postcard because I really like it on that red paper with the blue paper on the opposite page. I think that looks cute. And I did switch up my washi tape a little bit. I got some chevron washi tape that's got some pinks and purples on it. Now, because it's McBirdie and she does like the breakfast things, I decided I need to get this sun out and cut it off the bag. And we're going to put it on this page 2 right there. And then here we go with her stickers right here to put them on this page. And I'm kind of looking to see if there was something else that I could put on there. And I'm going to put that sticker behind there. Then I decided to go to another page to put her little Visa card in her little luggage thing. So just to kind of spruce up the page a little bit, I just go around the edges with some washi tape just to kind of frame it in. I know the other washi tape is behind that washi tape and you can see it, but I'm okay with that. I think that it looks okay. And we're just going to put that with her little piece of luggage, and I love how that looks. So we've done all 3 of those there, but I still have, excuse me, a couple of the regular McDonaldland postcards. I apologize for coughing. And I decided to pull out different washi tape. I have a whole bag of it, and put a piece on there. And then I have this very small French fry from a Happy Meal, and then we have the nugget box. So I start cutting up the nugget box to put on here because I think it would be a fun little spread to do the nugget box. That ends up being too big, so I end up cutting it down a little bit more, as you can see right here, and we're just gonna glue these guys on this page here. So we've got the little nugget friends. Do you guys remember the Happy Meals, and you had the little nugget characters that came in there once upon a time? Who remembers the California raisins? Do you remember collecting all the California raisins that they, remember when the California raisins were popular? Let's say that one more time. But you collected all them and had them all over the place. So anyway, fun stuff. All right, so now I'm looking at Hamburglar here, and why not put him on a page, you know? We've got him right here, so let's stick him down there. And I decide that's a little big for my page, so I end up cutting the tree off, and I end up cutting the McDonaldland thing at the top, and just kind of put Hamburglar on there. I was always scared as a kid that he was going to come and take my hamburger. You know, it's funny the things you think when you're a kid that are not even close to being true, but, you know, it is what it is. And I put that little, there was another little hamburger there with some eyes, so I stuck it on there like that. And then we're going to take the French fry box, and I'm going to cut it, and so I just have the shape of a French fry box, get all the other stuff off of there. And I'm going to make this have like a little bit of a pocket, but a slide through pocket. So we're just going to put glue on the little flaps right there and hang that, or put that right there, and then we'll stick something in that. Okay, so I'm just kind of looking through to see what else we have, and to stick this other postcard on here, and I think we've kind of done just about everything that we can do. Now here I am looking at where I cut one of the cups up, and I don't know, I just decided that it was going to be just a little too bulky, so I just stopped with that right there. All right, so let's do a flip through of our little book right here. I love how it came out. I think it turned out really cute. It's definitely not done because I am going to continue to buy the McDonaldland meals until I get the other 3 and put some stuff in there. And you can see I put a little piece of paper in where that French fries were and all that kind of stuff. So, but here is my project and all that. All right, so here is all our friends for this playlist, Journaling Our Way. Link is in the description. Don't forget that. And here's a little video that shows everybody's page. There is our hostess with the mostest, Sunflower Tasha. Make sure you guys go through and subscribe to everybody's channel. Watch all our videos. Hit the thumbs up. Give us just a little comment. Just say hello. That's what helps our channels out so well. If you see something you like, subscribe to the channel. Hit the little bell to make sure that you get notifications when they go live. And I appreciate you watching and all that kind of fun stuff. And I'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye.